So my name is Bella Bishop, and I graduated from ODU in 2022. I majored in English with a concentration in creative writing, and I minored in fashion merchandising. And now I have my own store. Glossy is a women's boutique of clothing and accessories. And the name Glossy comes from my family who immigrated here from Italy. Even though we're a demographic for women, I feel like this brand empowers and inspires everyone. Um, and we're all about, being daring, but being elegant at the same time and timelessness. But to be bold in your timelessness. So that's a little bit about Glossy. I was majoring in fashion merchandising first. Like English was not even in the picture at all. And this was my freshman year, and I loved fashion. I loved all that stuff and numbers and accounting and stuff. But I took this one of the English classes you had to take as a freshman because you have to take your gen eds, and the professor was just so cool. And I loved like reading and analyzing things and talking about it in class, and then also, obviously writing about it. But a lot of writing is a lot of reading and analyzing first. And she was really cool, and she told me about the Mason Crown. She was like, you should really just be like a contributing writer for this. My English professor was like, I just feel like you would like this world of magazines, writing, and fashion. And I was like, me too. So I went to a meeting, and it was great. Everyone there was so cool. And they did a lot of cool like fashion photo shoots back then. I was writing a lot of stuff for them, especially to get I had like a couple articles in there about the fashion department at ODU and all that stuff. So I went to my fashion professor and I said, "Hi, I think I'm gonna major in English." And she was just like so sad. She was like, "No, you have to like keep your major in fashion." I said, "No, I like really, really like writing." I loved how analytical it could be. And I loved reading, and I liked anything. It could have been anything. I was just so fascinated with English and how the classes were and how creative the classes were, and how honestly the professors in that department were so cool. They all have like their own niche of English, and I think one of the reasons that I wanted to really major in it was, one, I thought it was a very useful skill to have. I felt like people were losing how to write. People don't really read anymore. I'm not quite sure the direction of this anymore because of AI, which is a whole other conversation. But I really was intrigued with how English made you view the world, and how writing was a valuable skill, and I was always really good at it really young. So I don't know, my soul kind of called to it. And I didn't really think about, am I gonna get a job with this? Am I gonna do I really wanted to enjoy college, and I knew that if I had a good network and I was tenacious enough, you could find a job with any degree, I think. It definitely was not linear. I came straight out of college in a really cool internship. I started out as a copywriting intern for one of the biggest advertising agencies in the world called Weber Shandwick. After that, I actually made a fashion show in like 3 weeks. I did a lot of copy writing content to, um, in social media to get the fashion show out there. I mean, that was a lot of writing, a lot of email marketing, a lot of things like that. Something that I feel like an English degree teaches you is also how to be interpersonal with people and how to connect with people. So I think because of my English degree, I was able to articulate thoughts, what I wanted in business. I was really good at writing, um, like just a business email or text to someone, to collaborate. And then after I made that fashion show, I actually went back into the world of fashion and small businesses and social media. And then I worked with two boutique franchises, which I kind of helped them curate and elevate the next step of their business. And I realized that I was really good at helping businesses or people or companies start when they're starting. So if they need like a website built out, if they need social media done, if they need, like, I am that person. I think it's the entrepreneurial spirit in me where I get down and gritty with the company, and I love doing like multiple projects at once to get them through, point A to point B. And then when that company or store is at point B, I leave and go to another company. A lot of copywriting, not just for that internship that I did, but also, like social copywriting is like my biggest strength. Like coming up with captions for any type of social media is really, I think, a skill to hone in on. And you can make it very profitable. And also, email marketing is another form of copywriting, like having to have your subject line be capture someone, for them to open up the email, for them to click through the email, stay on the email, and even, make conversion to sales. All of that is through writing and through your storytelling. Yeah, that is like the biggest way I use my degree, was how to keep things short, simple, but informative, but also interesting. It's all about how you use your words. And for me, it's really copywriting, on all levels. Like even on my website, how I'm product naming my products, that has a lot to do with what I learned in English and how to be creative. I was taught how to tell stories as a creative writing, major. And because of them honing that into me, in papers, I was able to tell a story through my own business. The one class that really made me look at the world differently was my rhetoric class. I just thought it was so interesting on how there's so many different ways that one, people interpret things, two, how you can say things. um Argumentation, I learned a lot about. I still have my textbook on that, which was such a valuable skill, whether it's argumenting a point in your paper, whether you're a creative writing major or not. And that makes everything so much more interesting. And that skill again helped me make a business. Like I have to convince people to buy from me every day on social media, in person, um an email, like just interacting with someone who likes this shirt that I'm wearing. It's all about your presentation and your argument, and if they're contemplating not buying it, how do I grasp them back in, and things like that. If I could go back in time, I would have told myself, like, take an entrepreneurial class. Like, they have those at ODU. They have a class on entrepreneurship, or like a marketing course. Like, if you can just like do like an extra course, because you'll see how much they like intertwine with each other. And I think it would open doors to English majors of how can I use my degree in a different light. Whether it's being a freelance writer or like wanting to start your own blog or podcasts even, and how to like, capitalize on yourself. If you're an English major, do something creative outside of, like your clubs and your classes, and like make like a cute blog, or like do something where it shows that you're creative and you're willing to put something together yourself. I think every writer should branch out to, writing fiction and nonfiction and poetry, because it releases it gives you like a different perspective on how to write, and then you can bring those perspectives to what you like to write, whether it's news, journalism, whatever. Like they're all interconnected, and it's just exercising different parts of your brain and your thinking. Keep your connections large, like keep connecting with people. And the best thing that someone ever told me was don't burn bridges, make tolls.